Good afternoon, this is the Yamaha R15 V3. This is the motorcycle we've been riding all morning, and as most of you would know, this is the third generation of the R15 since it was first launched in 2009. It was showcased in 2008 and made it to the streets in 2009. The V3 borrows a lot of design inspiration from other Yamaha motorcycles, such as you can see very prominently here, the R6. Here's what it looks like in profile. It's a very impressive, very cool looking motorcycle. A lot of R1 elements in here too, as you can see. It definitely looks very well detailed and extremely stylish. You're definitely going to be making a statement if you ride one on the road. It's got a similar approach to design, in which it's a very hunkered down, racetrack friendly design. The seat is at a very aggressive slant. The pillion seat remains high perched. Anyway, so now this version of the R15 is equipped with a telescopic front fork. This is not how the R15 was originally showcased in the version 3, but given that an upside down fork is expensive, it would have affected the R15 V3's pricing in India. So it's only India and Australia as of the moment that get the V3 with a telescopic fork. Here's a closer look. What else is new? Firstly, you get a very cool new all digital meter. Turn it on for you. It says "Hi buddy," and at this point I'm not sure if it's programmable, but that should be fun if it is. That's your fully digital console. The switch gear is identical to that on the FZ25. Good question, is it vibey than the V2? No. This engine and gearbox is perhaps the most sorted, the most fulfilling engine and gearbox combination we've had on any R15 so far. While the first R15 was very smooth and refined, it lacked low-end grunt. This motorcycle doesn't, and I think a lot of it is down to the 19.3 HP it makes at 10,000 RPM, and also the 15 Nm of torque it makes at 8,500 RPM. There is a lot of substance to the engine, even at higher RPM, even post 8.5, 9,000 RPM. I cannot comment on mileage right now because we've only ridden on a racetrack, and racetrack figures are best left undisclosed. Anyway, moving on. So now this V3 is powered by a 155cc liquid cooled 4-stroke SOHC 4-valve engine, and the slip and assist clutch is actually a new addition, and it's actually a great feature because the assist feature on the slip and assist clutch provides a very light feel to the operation, and the slipper clutch, as all of you know, helps under very hard downshifts. It avoids any form of skipping of the rear wheel. Excuse me. There's a good feel from the throttle, especially. It's not a very long travel throttle, so it really helps for quick bursts of acceleration. We'll get to the sound in a bit. So the Delta box frame is is what the R15 has always been equipped with, and the swing arm is new. It has a bigger front disc now at 282 mm, and the rear disc is a 220 mm disc. This bike does not have ABS. Now, interestingly, the stock R15 V3 is equipped with MRF tires. However, as part of the optional accessories, Yamaha will also offer you a Metzeler at the rear, which is a bit of a confusing choice considering most of us, especially on a racetrack, prefer to have a stronger front. But that front Metzeler is not an option at the moment. I suspect it's also because Metzeler currently does not produce a 100 section tire for the front for any other motorcycle in India. Overall, dimensionally, the R15 has gotten bigger. It's now 1990 millimeters in length. The overall height has gone up to about 1135 millimeters. The seat height has gone up at 815 millimeters, and the wheelbase is at 1325 mm. It's also gotten marginally heavier at 139 curb, but it has the extra horsepower and torque, so it doesn't really come across as a hindrance. And 139 kg for a 19.3 HP bike is not really a bad figure at all. The fuel tank, meanwhile, has also gotten smaller than before by a litre. It can now hold 11 litres of fuel. As of the moment, you can get the R15 in two colors. One is this glossy blue and black. The other is a matte grey with a glossy red. But Yamaha knows how to do facelifts really well, and in true R15 tradition, you can expect to see more colors in due course. The R15 V3 is priced at 1.25 lakh ex-showroom, at which point I think it is good value for money. This is a seriously fun motorcycle ride. It's very, very eager to turn in. It's very responsive, but not in a scary way, not in a way that upsets the balance of the motorcycle or upsets your state of mind when you're riding. It genuinely is a bike that wants to respond crisply and immediately to everything you ask of it. That in fact has always been an R15 trait. The suspension is quite pliant, and it certainly isn't bone-jarringly stiff, unlike the KTMs. It is a bit of a compact size motorcycle for a very tall rider. Let's say anyone above 5'10", 5'11" will find it a little cramped, but that doesn't stop you from really having fun with it. It retains its ability to change direction very quickly. It's also quite a forgiving and friendly motorcycle that way. However, a weak link in the current package is the front tire, being an MRF, which is definitely not going to be as good as the Pirellis and Metzelers were used to in today's day and age. So I think a better front tire would definitely have helped enhance the R15's sharpness, especially around a racetrack. I'm sure you wouldn't mind this as much on the street, but we'll reserve comment on that until we actually get around to riding one on the street. Overall then, the R15 is an impressive new motorcycle. It's I think the highlight of this package, apart from of course the very obvious design and styling, is the engine and gearbox. This is genuinely a gem of an engine. It's extremely smooth, quite refined, and linear at all times, no matter what you're demanding of it. The gearbox is particularly impressive. In the hour or so that I rode it at the MMRT in Chennai, I did not experience a single missed shift. And I think Yamaha has done a great job of making the engine and gearbox work really well together as a package, and it really does help in the class of machine that this is. Ultimately, if you look at the larger picture, this is a learner class machine on the track, and it's good to know that future Indian racers will be riding something as sorted out and as mechanically efficient as the R15. I do think that the acceleration on the R15 is impressive. However, on my stint on the racetrack, I found myself having to shift into fourth about 2 or 3 kph before 100 kph. So I think that might have just about slightly affected its 0 to 100 timing. But that's not to say it's not impressive for its league. And there you go. So this is the R15 V3. Let us know if you like it. Let us know if you'd like Yamaha to address something in particular about it. And we will be riding it on the road very soon. You will have to catch our review on it tomorrow. This is from our racetrack impression of the motorcycle. And there you go. This is yet another exciting motorcycle from Yamaha that everyone from wannabe racers to college kids are going to have an absolute blast on. I do have a request to turn the bike on, so I will. Again, very refined, smooth sounding engine. The engine, as you can see, red lines at about 11,500 to 12,000 RPM. And yes, this is as Mara has to say, it does look like a dream, and I completely agree. This is one of the best looking motorcycles we have in the country right now, and I think it deserves to. I think it will bring the same amount of success that it has. However, there are a few visual quality issues with the motorcycle, as we can see here. You see, all of this is not what you would expect to see on any current spec motorcycle, current generation motorcycle, let alone one that costs 1.25 lakh rupees. There is a lack of detail, attention to detail, to finishing, especially during metal surfaces. The screen, in fact, is very, very well integrated. It's as you can see, it's a nice substantial screen here, and it's integrated really, really well. Even the rider's foot peg assembly, especially on the right hand side, is a very substantial unit. The exhaust is, of course, new. It's an all new unit. This is the foot peg assembly on the gear shift side. Another weld you should actually spot is this one right here, and this is a crucial point. While I'm not certain if this will have an impact on the rigidity of the chassis, it just doesn't look right visually on a bike that is priced at this point, which is of course 1.25 lakh rupees. Overall, however, the R15 is an impressive motorcycle. It is a definite evolution, and it's an evolution in the right direction for the R15. Yes, I still miss, and I do know a lot of people amongst you who prefer the version 1 R15, because of how effortless it was. But I suppose that R15's job was to educate you into riding fast, and now the subsequent R15s are trying to have already established and acknowledged that you've gotten fast because of the first R15, and now you have to go faster. So you need to sort of, up your riding style. You need to sort of upgrade how you ride as well. And it is a serious machine on the track. It's not lethal, but it's friendly and fast, which is, I think, a terrific combination for anyone. Especially for a bike you can pretty much buy and ride in the streets every day if you like. The riding position is committed, as has been the case with the R15 since the V2, and that's not going away. It's probably more committed than before, but there is no substitute for the fun you can have with it, especially around corners, and that is an R15 trait that is thankfully here to stay. Alright, so we'll be going off air right now. If there is anything else you'd like to know, now is your chance. Alright then.